Hello and welcome to another edition of the Unconventional Grower on plot 14, somewhere in the big wide world. Today we are all about sowing those peas that are just hiding behind the netting and get them into that bed there, and then seeing what else we can get planted and a bit of tidying up as well. Right, let's get to it. Right, we've got the peas in just behind the netting there, so that's them in. Now we're just in the point of raking back the wood chips to get the broad beans into this bed here and possibly into this bed here. So we've now got the beans in, we've raked back the wood chip, and now we're just in the process of putting the wood chips back. We've hardly made a dent in the amount of beans that we've got, so we could be here all day just planting beans. So we're now going to start raking back this area and get the beans in into here. So we've now got into the process of getting the beans into this side of the plot. In raking back the wood chips, we found that the mint has now started to spread, which is actually what we wanted. We know that mint spreads quite rapidly, quite wild, but that's what we want in that little bed over there. It's late now on a Saturday, it's about 5 o'clock, 5:05. We've still got a load of things to plant, which we're not going to get done today, but we've got another day coming up. I'll just give you a bit of a tour. We've got the plum in blossom. That is a fantastic prospect. Just made a start cleaning out all this couch grass here. Just got around the other side to do, which has been on the list to do for quite some time. Just making a start weeding this bed. I've just got this side to do, which we're hopefully just going to get that finished off before call time tonight. Hopefully they can withstand the sulking of transplant. So we'll end up just putting those trays of plants back under the netting. We don't want the birds pecking at them. So yeah, there we go. Onions will go in here. Might just make a start on that. And then we've got the sorry tea down here, which, well, the only thing for it is to pick the leaves and make a brew. That is the only thing. We'll also remember, around the other side, we've tidied out this bed, ready for the asparagus showing, and removed the sprouts from over here. So the next time we're up, we're going to get these tidied up, these two little beds. Those need the water, so they'll get done before we leave. Quite a lot of tidying up, quite a lot of weeding to be done. Now the weather's turned, that's the time where things start springing into life, and before you know it, you've got 3 hours worth of weeding to do. I'll just bring it around here. Made a start tidying this out as well. We do need some more wood chips. That's definitely a need. Another tree can go in here. I'm thinking of the fruit tree in this bit, and then this is not looking too bad. So right, let's get the other bits done, and then I think it's time for home. We've now just got the cauliflowers in, the two varieties, and just making a start now with the black kale. So that's the all year round, and then the winter cauliflower in there. I'm just going to leave a little bit of the bed just to see what's happening with the parsnips that we let go to seed. You can probably see some of the remnants there still left over. and see if any of them are going to germinate. We can see one or two that's doing its thing, so we'll just give that a couple more weeks of opportunity, and then we can utilise that area of the bed. So I just want to get these in, and then let's see where we are. So we now got the rest of the beans planted. That's just felt like a marathon. What I've also done is tidied this border up here to this point here, so that's now ready to accept, with the exception of these bit of land cress. So we've got some more peas in the greenhouse at home, so that's ready to get them. We're going to leave the onions out. This is going to be the bed. I've just put a small handful of the land cress into there, so into that bed, so we can just preserve that, because we are going to give it a right good tidy out. Now, what I've noticed is we've now got the first couple of shoots of asparagus coming up, so we've got to be careful when we're weeding this bed. But it's been a good day. Another one coming up shortly, so we'll bookend the video for this time. Nice to see that this bed now has got tidy as well. So in the next video, or part 2 of the video, will be just to finish off this side of the red currants and get some more of these plants in, and then we'll give this bed a fettle out, get them weeded, get that other bed sorted with the compost, and then that should put us in a really strong position. Just hoping that these beans just come through the little sulk that they're going through at the moment, the transplant sulk as I like to call it. Right, that is the end of part 1. Join us again for part 2. So we're back for day 2 on the plot, and today's agenda is to get these cherry falls into the bed. Is number 1. We've just given this a bit of a weeding just off camera, and then what we want to do then is to get this bed tidied out and that bed tidied out, and then get some more of those cabbages and other brassicas planted out into the into the netted hoop house. So right, let's get to it. So we're now just putting the Calabos red cabbages in, and we've also managed to fill up the this bed now. We just need to give it a watering in. So that's not looking too bad. I'll remind myself of the variety when I find the label. Anyway, it looks like majority of the beans have recovered from their transplant sulk. A day and a bit later from when we were on Saturday, it's now Monday. I've given that bed a fettling out and the other bed behind it. We need to get some compost transplanted from the heap into this plot here, and it looks like the cabbages the cauliflowers have perked themselves up as well. So now we're in a position where we've got another tray, 2 trays of brassicas. One will go in there, and then we've got to get the netting on here. Now I don't have the netting to go on there, so we might just have to do a temporary kind of working arrangement until we actually get the true netting, and then we'll get something in this bed as well. But for the time being, we'll get the well, look, there's this bed as well to get fettled out, and once we're in the fettling out mode, 1 or 2 bits and pieces on the pathway. Right, let's get these brassicas in, and then we'll see where we are. So we've now got the water on. A bit of a blustery day, so we're getting the hoop houses, the box houses watered up. We've got this one on as well to get into the salad bed watered, and then we're just going to turn his attention for the time being whilst we're here and getting some of the onions in. Wild garlic coming through. It's also coming through the other side as well, amongst the strawberries and a bit of the dandelions that need weeding out. But that's not too bad, we can get around with them and get them weeded out in due course. But that's the weeds, that is. So right, let's get cracking. I've now just got the path sorted out, get rid of all the weeds and whatnot that was growing through. So I'll give this a sweeping down. Now this area, I've just put some homemade compost into here. And what I'm thinking is, because it is a predominantly shaded area, I might actually move some of those cauliflowers, the all year round cauliflowers, to go into here. Of course, I just need some netting and the stapler. So I was going to put the onions in there, but I'm now no longer going to do that, in favour of trying to create a shaded area for the cauliflowers and see if that works. Anyhow, anyway, I've made a start on weeding this area. Now, right back in the day, right back about 12 years ago, when I took over this half of the plot, we put a membrane down, a weeded membrane. I can just see it here. Now this is, if there's no more evidence that's required to prove that this doesn't work in time, then I don't know what is. Because over time, I put the pebbles on, and then over time, then things just grow on top, and it just becomes pointless. So I've never been a fan of the membranes. They just don't work. In the short term, yeah, they do. In the long term, it's just more hassle. So right, so I'm making a start on that. That's going to give a bit of satisfaction to see this area tidied up. Whether I get round to that or not today, because I still need to get those other brassicas in, and I want to get these onions in by the close of play today. But I've got this area tidied up. I have noticed a stump that was remaining from the gooseberry clean out, so I may just leave that in for now. And I'd like to really get this tidied up as well before the asparagus start shooting through, so that might be something that I get done today as well. So let's see where we get to. So I'm slowly chipping away at weeding this between these black currants. It is such a difficult job to do because of all the intertwining underneath with the weed suppressant. It's really difficult to get in with the spade, and the weeds have burrowed through the membrane. It's just an absolute time drain. I must have been on this for about the past hour, and it just doesn't look like, well, we have made progress. It's just so difficult. Meanwhile, we have completed the fruit cage weeding. I'll just quickly walk down this side. So again, a similar story in here with lack of wood chips. That is what we are struggling with across the whole plot. So we need to figure that one out, get that sorted, and then just want to get these finished as well. This weeding down here, there's a bit there to do. Right, onions, let's get this done. It's got to be said that it does feel satisfying when you can get a path cleared out and swept down. Managed to get all the weeds out of it. Well, see, most of the weeds out from around back of here. That's on the list to get sanded down this year. And then just getting the path sorted out, and then just behind the apple tree. I think with some of the timbers that we've got left over in the shed, I might make a little raised bed for here. Some work that needs to be brought forward will be to get the back of the compost heap sorted out. Right, so what next? Not that. I think what I'm going to do is bag up all the bits of gravel, get to the ground sheet, pull that out, and half the weeds will come with it. So I think that's for another day. Right, let's move on. Right, next on the agenda is to get this mint in. Going to just replace the old bush, just to simply pull that out and then get this new one in. We have noticed that the roots are now doing what we want and spreading. It's quite a vigorous plant, and we actually want that to spread out. So another plant will help that to occur. Right, let's get it in. So I've just broken ground, and as you can see, this has come off that plant that we've just dug out. I actually thought it was dead, but there were a couple of roots that were still alive. So this is kind of just showing you that that's how the roots really spread out from the plant. Right, that's the new plant in. That's hopefully that'll do what we need it to do. Right, on with the next job. So I've now just off camera harvested a few leeks, which is going to make some space up now in this hoop house. So recap on today: onions are in, broads are in from a couple of days ago, asparagus poking up, that's nice to see. We've got this bed tidied out. We've got the beetroot now in that bed there. Kale into here. We've got that bed populated as well as this one. And this one's also populated as well. Onions in here. Started to fettle out that area there. That bit for some of the cauliflowers. Fruit cage fettled out. And a stark realisation that we're running out of compost. It's probably a barrow full at best. So that's going to leave us borders quite sparse. So I've got to come up with an idea. Now maybe, looking at bottom of there, I'm just wondering whether some of that's ready at the bottom. So that would mean turfing all that out into there, which is no mean feat. This bed fettled out, ready for the asparagus to come through, so we're hopeful. And path cleared. So overall, in the last 2 days, not been a bad effort at all. Things are coming on nicely. So that's the end of today's video. Thanks for joining, and I hope to see you again soon.